Lots of drinks are coming along. It's hot. People are winning.
She played blackjack. She knew how to count cards.
She had some drinks on board and was talking back with the dealer. She got into a fight.
I then found out that there was another victim.
He said, if you leave, I will kill you. I'll find you no matter where you go, and I will kill you.
She grabbed a purse, and they walked into the darkness outside of camera view, and she's gone.
That area is just acres and acres of fields and streams and creeks and rivers.
He had what appeared to be a bite mark on the inside of his arm.
I'm watching every step I take into this area where the smell's coming from. It just tore me apart.
I started screaming, oh my God. Oh my God. Auburn, California, in the Sierras. That whole area is so beautiful. And the people are just so kind. And there is a real sense of community.
A lot of large farms, big estates. It starts becoming rolling hills and eventually forest.
It's just absolutely gorgeous.
But in August 2020, the normally tranquil hillside community is crawling with law enforcement. Investigators from Placer County Sheriff's Office comb through the backyard of a multi-million-dollar home.
We've been searching for the body of a missing person for 15 years. We would never give up that search. After doing multiple interviews in that neighborhood, one person remembered someone working on a tractor in this backyard, and he found that odd. It was just a memory, but it brought us to this property.
It's a vast property, about 5 acres, different terrain. There's trees, there's open space.
We used ground penetrating radar to identify inconsistencies in the soil. This was something new that we had never tried before. It was August. We were dealing with 111-degree heat for probably 12 hours a day.
Finally, the radar picks up an anomaly, and a cautious forensic activity.
Forensic anthropologist told us, in terms of size of these bones, that it was a young female, but the cause of death was not immediate.
I can see a rib cage. I can see what possibly is a mandible. So we knew we had not just a bone. We had a body. San
Jose, California is in the heart of Silicon Valley. Very fast-paced, a lot of extremely intelligent people on the fast track.
For Debbie Wilson Boyd and her husband Pat, the city is a perfect place to raise their blended family.
I had a girl and a boy. She had 2 girls. They're similar ages.
You know, we just had a lot of fun with our kids, and from the time that Pat, my girls, he embraced them like they were his own.
Debbie's youngest daughter, Christy Wilson, is a standout athlete and student.
I coached her in both soccer and basketball. She got into gymnastics and she did quite well.
I was amazed by the focus that she had. Christy had a heart that was so big. She always could sense when someone was feeling low. She'd be the one to write a little card of encouragement. Graduated from Chico State and got a job right away.
She worked at a high-tech company in applied materials.
She was doing really well, working very, very hard. Christy was extremely analytical. I mean, just naturally analytical. And she enjoyed blackjack. You know, the whole strategy behind all the odds. She loved it. She went to the casino a lot. But there was one time when she ended up going to a casino with a friend. And she met this guy, Danny. Next thing I know, her and Danny are now boyfriend and girlfriend. He was also focusing on opening a restaurant. He had some goals of his own.
He's a sharp-looking guy, well-spoken, came from a real good family.
Christy thought that he absolutely could be the one. She really wanted to be married. He wanted to have a family. Christy and Dad decided that they were going to move in together in Sacramento. But it ended up being a very tumultuous relationship.
All of a sudden, the high-tech companies had a crash.
Christy got laid off, and she was devastated. She took it as a personal failure.
And for a long time, she was kind of a little lost.
After less than a year together, she said, "Mom, it's hard for me because I care for Danny, but I know that we're not good together." She said, "We are breaking up," and she moved back in with Pat and I in San Jose. But she still had a few things at Danny's, and what she had was a cat.
The final push to sever ties with Danny comes when Christy receives a job offer in San Francisco.
She was so excited, and we were so happy for her. She was going to start fresh, and that was her goal.
On October 4th, Christy makes the 3-hour drive to Danny's Sacramento apartment to collect the last of her belongings.
She said, "I'm going to stay up at Danny's, get a couple things and deal with the cat, and then the next day I'm going to go to my interview from there." Two days later, our phone rang at 10 o'clock at night. Danny had told my husband that Christy was missing for 2 days. I thought, I need to know what the heck's going on. What has happened? Danny said that Christy came to the apartment on October 4th. That night, he had a dinner with his family. Him and Christy went to Thunder Valley Casino, and that was the last anybody saw of her. He wanted to file a missing persons report, and I got scared. I really did.
Sacramento Police Department received a call on the 6th of October 2005, and Danny had reported that Christy was missing.
Danny, it said he got home, went to bed, and woke up, and Christy wasn't there. Then on immediately, he starts calling her. Danny said he was calling jails, hospitals, friends. And so, not being able to reach her. The next day, he actually drove the 30 miles out to Thunder Valley and found her car. It was parked. It appeared to be untouched.
He said that he contacted the security at the casino, and they paged her. There was no response. The next day, it was roughly around 10:30 at night when he called Pat Boyd and Debbie Boyd, and then called Sacramento Police Department.
You have a grown-up who is now missing, and their significant other that they're involved in a tumultuous relationship with takes 2 days to call the police. 48 hours is plenty of time for a crime scene to be cleaned up, for a body to be disposed of.
It was immediate. This doesn't look right. There's something wrong.
I started really feeling nervous about the whole situation.
What is going on? What has happened? Where is Christy?
I located a stun gun.
I went to Danny's apartment, and when I walked the area, I could smell death.
You start thinking, could this be a homicide?
Sacramento Police Department had found Christy Wilson's car at the parking lot of the Thunder Valley Casino. But Christy was nowhere to be found at the casino.
This is serious. Oh my God. Where is she? Please, this cannot be happening. I just kept praying and praying and praying. Oh my God, let her be safe.
We're trying to put a picture together of what happened. Sacramento PD is checking hospitals, checking jails. Did she take off and assume a new identity? We were looking into her cell phone activity, bank records, a lot of interviews with family, friends. Chrissy's bank account had not been touched since that night at Thunder Valley on October 4th.
She had a transaction in the casino where she took some money out of the ATM machine. We had the phone call in the casino. Those are the last two things that Christy did.
And that's when we knew that she went missing from Thunder Valley in Lincoln, California.
At that time, all eyes were on Danny.
We learned that they had a tumultuous relationship. You know, they had fights and arguments.
And the family described the relationship as intense. When they both got angry, they got angry.
You know, arguing and, like cats and dogs. There was one evening when it got physical. That's not love. That's just absolutely not love.
April of 2005, they had domestic violence between both of them. They were both arrested, but no charges are filed. They had their issues in April of 2005, and she goes missing in October, so there's not that much time. It is concerning.
When someone goes missing, the suspicion will automatically go to someone that they're in a relationship with. Particularly if in that relationship there have been instances of domestic violence.
Danny was very cooperative. You know, we searched his cell phone, we searched his bank records, we searched his computer, we searched his house, we searched Danny's car. I located a stun gun. It was really concerning. If we did find Christy and we found evidence of her having a stun gun used on her, then that would obviously link us back towards Danny.
Although Danny is a suspect, there's nothing that proves foul play on his part. Investigators look into Christy's background.
We used multiple databases to look for any kind of evidence that she had popped up anywhere. Local flyers go out to law enforcement. We had a tip line set up at the sheriff's department, and tips are coming in, but nothing really actionable.
We were talking to her friends to see if there's any communications, and there was nothing.
You start thinking, could this be a homicide?
Investigators focus on Christy's last known location.
The Thunder Valley Casino has a surveillance team, and they were working very diligently to try to put together a video of her whole time inside the casino. Christy had a player's card, and every time she gambled at a machine, she would use that player's card. So they were combining the data from the player's card with the video that they had of her movement throughout the casino. Christy got to the blackjack table probably around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. When the table is fun, lots of drinks are coming along, it's hot, people are winning. But towards the end of the evening, that table went from a hot table to a cold table. And Christy had some drinks on board and was talking back with the dealer a little bit. And the guy she was sitting next to said, "Hey, calm down, we should probably leave." She goes to put her phone into her purse and may have missed her purse, and it fell. Thunder Valley Casino found a phone that was underneath a blackjack table, and sure enough, that was Christy's phone.
Without cell phone location data, the video footage is detectives' only lead.
Christy got up, she grabbed her purse, and she's walking towards the exit of the casino with someone else. There seemed to be a very short conversation, and at that point they started to walk out. That person puts his hand around Christy's waist, almost guiding her a little bit. Who is this guy walking out with Christy in Thunder Valley? Who is he?
Detectives searching for Christy Wilson have pieced together surveillance footage that shows her leaving Thunder Valley Casino with an unknown man.
Our next step was to go out and try to identify who was this unidentified male. We knew that people at that hot table were using players' cards, so we went back to them and said, from the video you gave us, we have this guy in this Hawaiian print shirt, blue jeans. He's sitting at the second seat at the blackjack table. And so they ran the player's card, and he's identified as Mario Flavio Garcia. We quickly find that Mario lives in Auburn, California.
Mario was a family man. He was raising 2 boys, was married, and had a relatively successful career in the IT world.
Detective Sergeant Bob McDonald goes to interview Mario at his house. And Mario says, look, I was gambling at the table with a bunch of people. We were up, we were down. There was a girl, I don't remember her name. I walked out with her.
Mario said the last time I ever saw her, we were walking out towards my car. She said she lost her phone. She started walking back into the casino. And that was the last time I saw her.
I left my parking stall. I drove the front part of the casino. I made a left, which is the most direct route home.
Detectives returned to the video surveillance footage to verify Mario's story.
In the parking lot, the only area that wasn't covered was where Mario's car was. I described it as the black hole.
Christy disappeared in the dark hole, and that's the last time she's seen at the casino. At least from what we can see. Christy, as she walks into the darkness outside of camera view, she's gone. We did interviews with his neighbors. We're trying to figure out who Mario really is.
They said Mario is just another member of the community, plodding through life like the rest of us.
He is this youth mentor through soccer. We learned he's always looking out for everyone else. He's always willing to help someone.
Christie's phone being found in the casino seems to confirm Mario's story. And Christie's family suspects they may know who is to blame for her disappearance.
I thought for sure it was Danny. Had to have been. I still knew that Danny was still considered a person of interest.
We continue to look into Danny because you still have to consider him a suspect because he's the boyfriend and they had a physical altercation. I'm trying to nitpick him for every small detail so that way I can determine if he's being true. What did you do when you got home? Did you call anybody? Did you get on your computer? We want to make sure that something in the heat of passion didn't happen with Christy. Maybe he snapped and he did something to her. Could Danny have been mad and in the parking lot looking for Christy? We questioned him for hours.
As a cop, over the years, I've seen so many violent situations turn worse. Because people keep going back and back until somebody gets killed. Danny was my number one suspect in my mind. I'm still thinking cop mind, thinking father mind. I went to Danny's apartment, and the cops were inside trying to talk to him. And I started searching. Figured if you fought at home and you took somebody out in the middle of the night, you would throw them in a dumpster close by. So I climbed in and out of multiple dumpsters. I'm climbing in people's garbage cans, looking everywhere I could, turning over stuff. But there was nothing. And when I walked the area, probably a half-mile circle around his place, trying to put a crooked mine on. Went to all the areas I thought were kind of hidden or concealed that people wouldn't normally see. Where did he put Christy? And I found an area. There's little weeds up 3-4 feet high, and I smelled death.
He had multiple injuries on his body. And he says, oh yeah, I fell out of a tree. Now we've arrested him for murder without a body. We were in uncharted waters.
Christy Wilson has been missing for 4 days and is feared dead. Her stepfather searches the woods near her boyfriend Danny's apartment.
I could smell death. Being a cop forever, I knew what death smelled like. I was around a lot of dead bodies. I didn't want to call it in case it was nothing, but I just happened to find out myself. I'm getting to this area where the smell's coming from. And when I got there, it turned out to be a dead raccoon. It just tore me apart. And I couldn't search anymore that day. I went home. I had to tell my wife I couldn't find her.
I was beside myself. Absolutely beside myself. What has happened to her?
Investigators attempt to confirm Danny's whereabouts on the night Christy disappeared.
We know that Danny called her that night at 10:30 and she was at the casino. We not only looked at his phone records to corroborate where he said he was, but I knew that his apartment complex had a gate on it, so I checked to see if the gate had entry and exit times. Cameras verify that Danny was home that night, that he was not at the casino parking lot when Christy disappeared. Again, we looked at the casino video surveillance.
We had Thunder Valley give us every piece of video from the parking lot.
We're looking for anything out of the ordinary. We noticed there's a discrepancy with Mario Garcia's statements. He said, I went left, the most logical way to get home. But Mario's car did not go left, it went right out the casino. That goes out to an area out towards just vast open land. Just acres and acres of fields and streams and creeks and rivers.
Why did he go there?
That's when we start investigating his background. We saw that he had a conviction for assault with a deadly weapon.
Mario is presenting himself as a nice guy in the neighborhood. But his criminal history tells a different story of who Mario really is.
We get a search warrant to search his house. Searching his house, we found a handgun in his office area because he was a prior convicted felon. It was illegal for him to possess that.
So Mario gets arrested on October 14th for weapons charges. We brought him back to the sheriff's office. And we stripped him down to his underwear, and we noticed that he had what appeared to be nail scrapings across his chest. He had a bruise on the inside of his arm that appeared to be, at first glance, a bite mark. As with any good detective work, you ask about the injuries. And Mario says, oh yeah, I fell out of a tree. That story doesn't match his injuries. And Mario at that point started pushing back and said, I want an attorney, and that was the conclusion of the interview. On multiple occasions, I tried to interview Mario's wife, Jean, but he got an attorney for his wife and the kids.
We found that Mario had been arrested in 1979 for an assault with a deadly weapon. I contacted the local agency down there, and I asked them to go to meet the victim in person.
When Detective Merson called me and asked me if I had known a Mario Garcia back in the late 70s, it was a shock to hear that name. I had really buried it for 27 years. So in 1977, I met Mario Garcia. He was very charming. He was very nice. We started dating. We were getting along really well. And after about just a couple months, he moved in. Once he got into my apartment, his whole demeanor changed, and he became like a Jekyll and Hyde. He became very controlling, and then he became violent. I had ended up with black eyes, but I never told the police because he said, if you leave, I will kill you. I'll find you no matter where you go, and I will kill you. In January of 1979, I come home from work. He's right there. He grabs me. He takes me to this van. Gets me into a chokehold. And then he raped me. And he pulls out a handgun. And he holds it to my lips, and he said, I can come and get you at any time. And then he raped me again.
Wendy reports the rape to the police.
There was kidnapping, 2 charges of rape, assault with a deadly weapon, and burglary. The DA's office comes to me and said, the courts are full. It's your word against his. Let's plea bargain. So we plea bargained down to just assault with a deadly weapon. I didn't know any better. I had no, it's just like, all right, let's do something. Let's get something on his record. But he never spent any time in jail. He had 1 year probation. And that was my last encounter with Mario.
It's sad that the system let Wendy down. Sharing her story with me painted a very clear picture of how violent he could be. He is capable of kidnapping somebody, raping somebody, capable of assaulting somebody with a gun. Mario became our prime suspect.
Mario Garcia was the last person to be seen with Christy Wilson.
His rap sheet showed that he had been arrested for sexual assault, kidnapping, and assault with a deadly weapon.
Mario's car was processed by the Placer County Sheriff's Office.
There was a hair found in the rear compartment of the vehicle. There was a hair on the door handle, as well as some drops of blood in the trunk area.
and we found another hair in the trunk. That had a root ball, and it appeared to pulled out with force. We confirmed through DNA that was 100% Christy.
Based on the evidence found in the car, we believed that Christine was deceased.
I got the call that the DNA was a match to Christy. And I started screaming, oh my God. Oh my God.
After the forensic results are determined, Mario Garcia is arrested, prosecuted, charged with murder of Christy Wilson.
At this point, we are excluding Danny as a suspect. We know that he was not responsible for this. And now we've arrested Mario for murder without a body, which is something our county had never done before. We were in uncharted waters at that point. So the focus shifts to searching for Christy. We went back and did a really good timeline. We noticed that Mario turned off his phone when he got to Thunder Valley at about 6:30 or so. The phone comes on again at 7:50 a.m., not far from his house. So there's really a short window where Mario could have really buried Christy.
The searches for Christy Wilson were extensive, expansive, exhaustive. There were thousands of volunteers who would spend their time hiking through the woods looking for any sign of Christy.
We came up every weekend in search, and we brought a lot of people with us.
Mario lives on about 5 acres. His property was searched in a very coordinated effort to look for any kind of evidence. 2 cadaver dogs were brought out. Unfortunately, there was nothing of evidentiary value. They didn't find anything.
Nearly a year of searching fails to recover Christy's remains. On September 11, 2006, the trial begins.
There had never been a case of a no-body homicide prosecution in the history of the Placer County DA's office prior to Mario Garcia's trial.
He pushed for a speedy trial. He wanted it now. He thought, no body, less evidence, I can beat this case.
Legally, if someone is charged in a no-body homicide prosecution and a jury finds that individual not guilty, even if we were to find the body later, we would be prevented legally from trying that person again. You don't get a second chance. It was a gamble.
In the courtroom, prosecutors paint a vivid picture of Christy's final night.
She went to the casino. She then met Mario Garcia at a table. They drank, they gambled for an evening, and at some point, those two left together.
That point is when he took the opportunity to subdue her.
And quickly, to get in.
Something. He appears to be alone.
And
He had scratches, he had bruising, he had injuries consistent with an altercation.
And at some point, he moves her into the trunk. And somewhere in Placer County area, he decides he's going to kill her and dump her body.
My guess is that his motive was he was going to sexually assault her, and she fought back, and that's why he ended up killing her.
During the trial, I was asked to come forward as a past victim. I was nervous about it, but I was very determined that I was going to speak out and say who he was. I wanted him off the streets because he's going to continue to hurt other people, other women.
Mario maintains his innocence throughout the trial. It will take 2 months before the prosecution rests. In early November, the jury retires to deliberate.
You got a no-body case without a confession, and you got to try to get a conviction. You have to hope it's going to go right.
At the trial, I'm thinking, if Mario doesn't get convicted, he could have very easily come after me for speaking out against him.
A jury is a jury, 12 people. And you see people on the stand there for several days. Are they really paying attention? Are they wandering off?
I was nervous about it. In my opinion, the odds were not very good.
You're always extremely worried when a jury is deliberating. You're nerve-wracked. It's tense.
In the case of the state of California versus Mario Garcia, the courtroom awaits the verdict.
We all had an opportunity to put this monster away. And let's make that happen.
You just hope that you've provided them the correct evidence to make the correct decision.
Mario Garcia was sentenced to 59 years to life for the murder of Christy Wilson.
Felt great. Big sigh of relief, without a doubt.
I was shocked. I was elated. Finally, some justice would be served.
After sentencing, I still felt empty. I couldn't sleep knowing that Mario had hidden her somewhere. I couldn't rest.
This is not over. Christy needs to come home and get a proper burial and to be with her family. For 15 years, we did a massive search around Thunder Valley. We looked at a geographical area where it could have driven that night. We looked everywhere and came up with nothing. After Mario was convicted and sentenced, his wife and the kids cut off all communications with him. And so we finally got an opportunity to interview Gene. And we finally interviewed the boys. The older son, Chris, says, the only thing I think is weird is I had a big soccer game that was happening and I couldn't find my dad. I walk out the front door and he's working on a tractor. Chris said his dad looks at him with a crazed look. He's sweaty and he said, I'm not going to your effing game. Remember, Mario's a big soccer guy. He's a coach. He doesn't miss any of his son's games. And that was weird. So we want to see this area where Mario was working on the tractor. The house is now owned by new owners who know the history. They're more than cooperative with us. to digging, and we start hole number 3, and this is the area that Chris saw Dad working on the tractor.
I get up and I start to walk over there, and Nuno's walking next to me, and he yells, "Stop, stop, stop, there's a bone." And you could see her femur.
After 15 years of searching all over this county, is she finally here? Are we finally bringing her home?
Dental records confirm the remains are Christy Wilson.
And so we were able to say, "Debbie, we found your daughter." We hugged and cried a lot, and, pretty emotional.
It had been 100% confirmed that it was Christy. My life changed. My whole family's life changed. I would never wish it upon anybody. I miss just the beauty of my daughter, Christy. So many wonderful memories. Never forgotten.
I only look at the good times. And I still see her when she's so happy. There's a smile on her face. All the good stuff.
Beneath the tranquil hues of eventide, where gentle breezes softly abide, perfect peace is known forevermore. In the whispering sighs of the evening air, I sense your presence.